Thank you, Mr. Chair. After how many hours of discussion here, I just want to ask Mr. Chair, do you think it's about time that the system operator or the system operation of our country be back to the Philippine government? Kasi as I can see, tinuturo din naman ng NGCP ang DOE. Tinuturo ng NGCP ang ERC. And I think that is so unfair because I am very happy that ERC now is very cooperative and it's really for the Filipino people and for the country. So, Mr. Chair, what do you think the DOE or ERC, especially to Prof. Wally, who is the author of the grid code of the Philippine grid code, do you think obviously of what happened, there is a simple negligence or a failure to exercise a prudent judgment in managing the grid. So before I go there, I want to ask, Mr. Chair, is Mr. Christian Ereno, were you there during that day, January 2, 2024, 12:06 p.m.?
Yes, Mr. Ereno.
Yes, during that day, the dispatchers were there, and then when the event happened, I went there.
Okay, so you were in that place wherein it is your responsibility, and it is your responsibility to think and decide to exercise a prudent judgment whether to do market intervention or the manual load dropping. Isn't it, Mr. Chair?
Yes, Mr. Ereno.
Yes, Mr. Chair. The day-to-day operations are being handled by our dispatchers. As I mentioned a while ago, there were 3, and so after the incident, I was in Cebu in the office. I went to the control room together with some of our colleagues, and we were discussing the measures in order to restore the Panay group.
So, Mr. Chair, you meant Mr. Ereno said that there were 3 people who were in that place. Am I right?
That is correct. There are always 3 people, 24/7, manning the control center.
Mr. Chair, may we get from Mr. Ereno the names of those 3 personnel or dispatchers of NGCP?
Yes, if NGCP can submit the list of names of the dispatchers during that incident.
We will submit, Mr. Chair.
Thank you.
Because, Mr. Chair, I think this is a simple case of someone sleeping in the noodle house. That's why I would want to ask if the government is now ready to take over or to give back the system operation back to the government. Para naman siguro sa simpleng judgment call na it is a very unfair happening for the people of Panay. Bilyon ang nawala. It was a horrible economic loss. And I could just imagine how our representatives from Iloilo, from Guimaras, how would they take good care of their people, especially those who are sick? So sana, maiwasan natin yung ganito situation na para kapag may natutulog ulit sa pansitan, siguro pwede na nating sabihin na managot criminally and administratively sa ombudsman or Sandigan Bayan. Now, Mr. Chair, I would like to ask our very hardworking Ma'am Chairperson Manalisa de Malanta, if ever we already get that person responsible for this happening of the blackout for 3 days in Panay, what would be the possible penalty for this?
Ma'am, on the Ma'am, on the part of the ERC, the responsibilities we are looking at and therefore the scope of penalties we can impose are not on a person-to-person basis. It's on SO, on NGCP as far as its performance of the SO. But maybe it's worthwhile mentioning, we have started last year our coordination with the DOJ for the implementation of the penal provisions of EPIRA, because the penal provisions of EPIRA are on individuals. They have not been put to action. So we've started working with DOJ on forming a task force so that we can also activate the penal provisions of the EPIRA. But that's that will go to the regular courts, not under ERC jurisdiction po.
So for the amount, Mr. Chair, how much penalty could they impose po?
Opo. Maximum po 50 million lang ma'am per violation.
So 15 million. So very easy for them to rectify this, no, ma'am. So going back to my first question, do you think, Mr. Chair, I want to address this to the OE, ERC, or even to the author of the Philippine Grid Code? Would you think that the government is already ready to take back the operations, the system, the SO for our country? In relation to this, Mr. Chair, I am very happy also to see the video of our President PPM, because upon this happening, he already stood his view, and he would really want to help in rectifying our electricity problem. And in relation to this, Mr. Chair, I am aware that Maharlika funds is being considered to be invested to the transmission facilities. It is my opinion, more than the financial investment to transmission industry, is for the government to really take back the system operations, especially now. They are just pinpointing all of their issues to the government, so why not just take it back? Thank you.
Yes, Transco, if you can answer if you already have the competence to perform the functions of a system operator.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. On behalf of the DOE, I would like to manifest that Transco is very much ready to take over the system operations function. Thank you.
Thank you, Transco. And if that's the last question of Honorable Matibag.
That would be all, Mr. Chair. Thank you.